As we continue to bring you live updates here in Georgia on the second autopsy of Adrianna Younge, I have with me here Miss Lewis, who is the very outspoken aunt of Adrianna Younge. Miss Lewis, thank you for gathering the strength to speak with me. I first want to ask, you have seen that the police have concluded their investigation in this matter. That's basically what they're saying.
Yes.
Is the family accepting that? If not, why not?
All right, so thank you for having me. No, the family is not going to accept that. I listened to Dr. Todd briefly, and I want to also state that that's not the police territory, all right, to decide, to conclude that. The family has had many questions that are not answered. They have been left unanswered. And some of those questions includes time of death, includes whether the liquid, the fluids in her nostrils actually came from the pool, because as we all saw, that pool was drained before water came out, before a sample actually was able to come from it. And so we have questions. We also have questions concerning the marks on her body, identical marks on her arms, identical marks on her knees, the mark on her forehead. So we have so many questions that have not been answered, and so we just cannot accept what the police have said there.
The initial autopsy said she drowned. Are you, the family, of this belief anywhere in your heart?
All right, so we as a family, we're saying that, all right, maybe she did drown, but we think that she was forcefully drowned. We know that she was definitely not drowned in that pool. And we were there, I touched her body. Her body was not bloated. Her body was warm and cold. All right, so we know what we saw. So her nostrils, both nostrils, had cotton wool inside. That's what I saw, I examined. So we're not refuting that she drowned, but we're saying that she definitely did not drown in that pool. All right, so that's our position.
Could you take us back to the day Younge went missing, to the time that her body was retrieved from the pool? I know it's a painful experience, but for context, I would really like to know.
All right, so it's a day that I really cannot forget. That Wednesday I was home. I had a class online, and I suddenly got ill. I started not feeling well. And so my class should have started at 1:15. I texted my students in the chat and I asked them for us to start at 1:30 because my tummy was hurting me. So I went to the bathroom, came back at that time, started the class, and then we had some technical difficulties. And so I was forced to end my class a little early. By that time, I was getting a severe headache. So I said to my son, one of my younger sons, Malachi, I said, look, give me 2 Panadol, I'll go drink, and don't wake me up. Well, I went into bed, and just to lie down so that the headache will go away. And then my sons came knocking on the door, mommy, 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 mommy. So I knew that something was wrong. I jumped up. A friend was on the phone. She was saying, Amika, your niece is missing. I'm like, what? Where? You're out of your sleep. And I decided, I drove over there very quickly. Well, I live a short distance because I live in Tushen. And I went across there. I saw people sit down. I'm like, why are you sitting? Get up. We have to look for her. And so on. The thing that I want to impress upon the police is their attitude. And. And their attitude towards this family, 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 and their attitu and their attitude towards the owner. Well, you know the hotel has several owners. I'm speaking specifically about Butch Narain Bola, son, because while I was there, we had a very small crowd initially, family members, neighbors, and so on, who came out. And while I was there, you know, son was just on his phone. Then you saw one police come up and talk with him. And then, you know, nobody came to us to say, all right, what can we do to help? We asked repeatedly for the pool to be emptied, for us to search, and everything fell, all of our requests fell on deaf ears. We saw the police protect, guard, defend, and they're even defending now the owners, all right, or the owner of that hotel. So it has been such an emotional roller coaster, and I can tell you that especially for my brother-in-law, Sir Brian, and for my sister, Amicia, and for their children, all right? I've had to listen. I've had the privy to listen in. I was privy to listening on conversations between my niece and my nephew and my daughter and my niece, and, you know, they're hurting. They want justice too. All right, so it has been such an emotional roller coaster. I also would like to address what our president, Mr. Ali, has said. And Mr. Ali promised us, he promised the father of Adrianna, Sir Brian Younge, he promised him that he will leave no stone unturned, that he will provide all of the resources that are needed for an independent investigation. Sad to say, that has not been materialized up to now. We have asked, Sir Brian has asked, Amicia has asked, the family has asked for the FBI to come in. The embassy, the U.S. embassy, is waiting on the government of Guyana to ask. They're willing, but they're waiting on Mr. Ali to ask, on this government to ask. And that request, for some reason, odd reason, has not been made. So our family, we are hurting on every possible level that you can think of. We don't have the police by our sides. We don't have the government helping us. All right? We have, what we do have done, what we're thankful for, and I would like to inject this here, is that we're really thankful for all of the supporters that have stood and that are standing behind us. Those persons who have never met us have now are now hearing about us for the first time all over the world. Those are the people that we are extremely, extremely grateful for.
You have lost a loved one. Mm-hmm. I feel your pain. Mm-hmm. What would satisfy the family of Adrianna Younge? I know there's nothing that can bring her back, mm-hmm. but in this case, what can satisfy the family?
All right, so we would like to begin with an independent investigation. We want the FBI to come here to investigate this case. We want the government, we're calling on the government, we're calling on Mr. Ali and the government of Guyana to ask the embassy, the U.S. embassy, to approach them, all right, to ask the U.S. for the FBI to come in. What we want to see is not see a recurrence of what has happened here, all right? We want Adrianna's death, and I always say her murder, to be the last of its kind. We want the police force to rethink about what their purpose is as it relates to citizens, to all citizens, not just those citizens with money, not just those citizens that you can get favor from, not just those citizens that you can drive their vehicles and eat at their homes for free and their businesses, not just those citizens that you can go at their hotels with your sweet women and sweet men and have a good time for free, not just those citizens who are offering you contracts. We would like the police force to rethink about the decision and the oath that they have made to serve and to protect all citizens, because they have certainly failed the Younge's family and they have failed me.
Tell us about Adrianna Younge. What kind of person she was? And obviously, you shared a very good relationship with your niece. Tell us about her. And was she a very good swimmer as well?
All right. So, yes, Adrianna was an excellent swimmer, better than her aunt. And, she swam. Her father would take them out to swim in the river. So she was very, very prolific, or a prolific swimmer. She's quiet. She was quiet. I hate speaking about her in the past tense. Very quiet child, and that's why the family was able to stand out there and say, no, she didn't leave here. Because when Adrianna comes, whenever she comes at me, if she wants to go downstairs, she would come to me if I'm in the bedroom or in the kitchen. She would say, Auntie Amika, I can go downstairs and play. Auntie Amika, I can go downstairs and ride the bicycle. Auntie Amika, she's like that. She was her mother's talk name buddy. You have that child that you can chat with. She was that for my sister. I was listening to some voice notes from her to her mom only this morning, and I can tell you she was loving, she was caring, based on those voices, based on my own experience with her. Just a really quiet, really humble, shy child.
You said that she sought permission from you to do every little thing in the house.
Yes.
Is this why you formed the conclusion that, or anybody could form the conclusion, that perhaps she could not have left that pool unless an authority indicated to her?
Yes, definitely. So we have thought of this thing always, and we have decided that, we thought one of the things that we've thought about rather is that someone had to beckon her, someone had to call her, someone had to whisper to her to come.
Someone she knows.
Someone she knows, definitely someone she knows, and someone she is accustomed to seeing, someone she trusted. All right, so yes.
I have a strange question. I don't know how to start going about visualizing this. Mm-hmm. I am hearing words like sacrifice. Mm-hmm. I'm hearing words like sedation. Mm-hmm. How can you speak to that? What's really happening there?
All right, so we have also heard that. We have heard that this was a sacrifice. We have heard that this was not the first time that a sacrifice was done at the Doubleday Hotel. We have heard that the family of Mr. Bowler has been practicing this sort of ritualistic, these sorts of rituals for a long time, even when the grandparents and so on lived in Berbice. We have looked at the marks on her body, the identical marks on her body, and we think that they have some sort of meaning that we would like to know what the meanings are. So we have not ruled that out. We have heard it, and we believe that, it's something of that sort. When I looked at my niece, when I lifted that jersey from her face, there was a huge mark on her forehead. So I'm thinking that someone hit her, or maybe they stifled her, and maybe she fell and hit. But definitely, we have also been thinking about that.
Lastly, before I let you go witness the autopsy, what if today's results goes against what the pathologists back home have found?
All right. Again, we would like an independent. We think that if that happens, then we would like the Guyana Police Force, the Guyana government, to grant us that request that we've made. We believe that the police force is not adequately equipped and trained to handle a case of this magnitude. And so, again, we're asking that an independent investigation of this case by the FBI or from Scotland Yard or some other place, not Guyana, be granted.
So finally, Ms. Lewis, the overall feeling, the overall gut feeling of Adrianna's family is that she was murdered.
Yes, Adrianna was murdered. That's what we believe. And I don't think that we're alone in that belief, given all of the marks and given, what transpired there. The cover-up, the attempt to cover it up. All right, the magnitude of the attempt to cover up this murder case, yes.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lewis. I wish you, and your family all the health and strength that you may need to go through this. I know the autopsy is coming up very soon, so you can go. Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome. That's Ms. Lewis, the aunt of Adrianna Younge. In the background there, that's Mr. Sir Brian Younge. That's the father of Adrianna Younge. Of course, I did approach him to have a word with him, but of course the emotions here are very high in Georgia. He is not ready to speak with us as yet. The time now is 2:30, and the body of Adrianna Younge, I understand, was just placed on the table in preparation for her second autopsy. So you stay tuned to HGP TV Nightly News. We will continue to bring you updates as the day unfolds.